friends, welcome to Music Nation Speaks, where we talk to musicians about their music journey, the impact of music in our lives, and also a little bit about our music industry. And today we have the one and only Wee Lern.
Hi guys.
So let's get right into it, right?
Sure.
How long have you been playing the piano, and what made you choose the piano?
How long have I been playing the piano? Well, if you count from the days where I learned my classical and everything since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Let me count, How old am I now? Wait.
Do you want people to know?
No need. 29 years.
Oh damn. Can I count? 29 years.
29 from the day I started learning.
Playing, So did your parents choose it for you, or did you like, I want to play that?
My parents prompted. I mean, they spoke to me. I vaguely recall the conversation. I mean, we were in the car, eating after dinner.
Yeah.
And then my dad and my mom were talking about a classical piano teacher that stays nearby our house.
Yeah.
So they said, Wee Lern, do you want to learn piano? No, it's just something just like that. And I just said, yeah, sure.
Why not?
It's not. I mean, not exactly like, wow, this is. I really want to do this. It's just.
Right.
Just like okay lah, and just another activity to do it. So I didn't exactly jump into it lah, but it's like since the option is there.
Right. And
so,
from there, when did you got really into it?
Where did I get into it? If I can say this lah, I mean I attend church, right? I think most musicians grew up from there. So I think my interest really picked up in my teens, when I see all my seniors in church playing piano, like no need to read notes, just play chords by feel. Then in church they have drums, bass, and full band. So I think that's where my interest really started lah. Just watching other people play, and you want
praise
to play,
and worship. Time.
yeah, all that, and you want to play like them. You know. So before that, it was just just playing on your own, reading notes, passing exams, right? I think every classical musician in Malaysia knows that.
ABRs.
Yeah. Not that it's useless lah, but of course you gain a lot of things from those classical lessons. But it was a tad boring lah.
What was it that made it boring for you, and how did you overcome that? Like, what made you pull through, to the end?
I think it's because for most, kids who learn piano, it's you are in a Asian culture, right? Every parents see this as something to achieve and not really to enjoy, because and then it doesn't help that every time when you start a year and then the teacher will already give you the exam piece. I mean, of course, sometimes they'll teach you other songs.
Yes.
But that makes it. It became routine that you're always practicing the same songs. I mean,
1 year 3 songs.
Yes, but depends. Some of those songs are fun playing. And it depends on how the teacher teaches you. Sometimes she makes it interesting, but other teachers are more strict.
Yes.
Very focused on the technique.
Right,
which is very normal. Normal. So it's the routine. I mean that. What do you call this? The mundaneness of just practicing for the sake of passing exams that eventually makes you think like,
what am I doing?
Yeah, am I doing this just for the grades to please my parents or to impress people?
Right.
But at the same time, when you're a kid, I'm sure you watch TV and sometimes you see live musicians playing something that is not classical.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
and you're like, how do we do that?
Especially jazz. Once in a while, if you're lucky, you see on TV that somehow RTM will show a jazz quartet playing. I think I remember watching the band 4 play. Somehow they just showed.
Well, is it a Malaysian band?
No. 4 play the Bob James. Nathan Hayes,
okay. Sorry.
It's okay. We haven't heard of that band in a long time. So maybe 10 years ago, if you mentioned 4 play musicians, like,
yeah. Now we have acoustic 4 play.
Different. But anyways, it's I wouldn't say it's smooth jazz. Smooth jazz is right. That band plays jazz in a modern way, which makes it sound simple, but actually it's very rich and complex.
Yes. And RTM showed it lah.
Just a random clip lah.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
I watched like how come the pianist plays so nicely and hitting all the wrong notes.
Wrong notes.
But then sounds so nice.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then you
yeah.
see he's just enjoying himself, no score in front of him.
Right. And how old were you? I mean,
I'll say
when you saw that.
in between 10 to 15 years lah, back in those days.
Right, when you were
Yeah.
still in that classical realm.
Yes, and of
Yeah.
course going to church, so it's a mixture of that lah.
Yeah.
But it was that moment lah. I mean moments like this when you see a live jazz pianist play, it's like, I think I want to play like that when I grow up.
Yeah.
Again, it's not exactly like, oh, I want to do this now. It's more like something that grew.
Yes.
Right.
It has a certain progression, right? Like you want to get the armors, get the tools first
Yeah.
to play there, right? To play
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And of course, from time to time, the radio will play jazz as well.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
also piqued my interest. I was like, how is it that can play so freely?
Yeah.
While at that time I was just confined to reading notes.
Yes. And just
Yeah,
Like
even though you played perfect, also it's like, it lacks, it lacks expression because you can't really play what you want. Right?
to play. Yeah. It's like, okay, play ready, and then.
And then yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And then the next song, which is still written for you.
Yeah.
And then again,
The cycle
nothing.
continues.
Yeah, nothing wrong with reading music. Again,
Yeah.
I have to make that clear. It's just, I think what classical music education lacks is teaching how to improvise. I'm sure there should be a way
Yeah.
to actually put that into the usual syllabus, right?
Right.
Because classical, the methodology has been around for hundreds of years, and
Yes.
it's brilliant, right? It emphasizes on technique,
Yeah.
tone, precision,
Yeah.
discipline,
Yeah.
right? I think every musician who goes through this can agree
Yeah.
lah. It's just that one element is missing,
Yeah.
right? Playing out of the box,
Right.
playing when there's no score there, like somehow, no, that was not taught at all.
And how did you transition into classical and
That's
into jazz?
why I brought up the church thing lah.
Ah.
Right? Because from there, in church, you ask
Yes.
your older brother or sisters, like, how
Yes.
do you play like that?
Yes.
Then if they're kind enough,
Yeah.
they'll show you, oh, this is how you play a chord,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
This is
yes.
how I play my left hand and right
Yeah.
hand, right?
Yep.
Right, even though it's not written for you.
Right.
Right.
And you were playing with people. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Yes. What do you need? Keys too? Oh, it's in my bag. Yeah. We can edit this out.
Of course.
Sorry.
Of course. Wait.
Yeah. wait.
Since we
It's in
can
the-
edit it out.
Yeah. It's super. It's here. Hold on.
Hi. Where are you going?
She's coming. I think that was so good.
Very busy.
Yeah. She's all over the place now. Oh, sorry.
I'm a busy musician. It's good. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing, lah. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, all right, we're back. Okay, so you were saying, you went to church and you were basically seeking advice and seeking help from your seniors on, hey, how do you play like that? Da, 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 da. How important was that to ask and not just like to look, and like yeah.
Well, regarding that, I'm actually I was a very shy kid. So it took me a while,
Yeah.
right, before I had the courage to go and talk to people who are older than me. Right. It took a lot of prompting from my dad. My dad actually wanted to push me to this,
Yeah.
play music,
Yeah.
And
Oh, we'll talk about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was tough because he had to break me out of my shell.
Mm.
It was, and I remember the years where I think what happened was this. I actually learned the guitar a bit first. Okay, that's just a side story.
Okay.
Then somehow got into bass.
Yes.
Right. And then actually my dad tried to get me to play bass first. Right. And then
Yeah.
so what happened was
Yeah.
in Sunday school,
Yes.
people know that, right? It's easier for me to just, sit in because sometimes the bass player is not free. Then my dad say, "Oh, let me play," and that because the environment is more friendly, I'm more familiar, right?
Yeah.
So it started from there, lah. So
Yeah.
fine. And then suddenly he asked me to play for the main worship one day when I was 12, I think.
Oh my goodness!
Or
He just
13.
pushed you out there.
No, he asked me to play and I freaked out.
Oh.
I panicked. And then I just cried out. I said, no, cannot do this, cannot do this. I really cried.
Yeah.
Cried until he gave up. Like, I said, okay, this is too much.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so I don't know why, it's just I was a very self-conscious kid lah. Right?
Yeah. How did music help you with that?
How did music help me with that?
Yeah, in your opinion. Yeah.
Give me something to hide behind.
I don't want to talk, but I can play though.
Yeah. But anyway, you were asking a question about how important is it to finally talk to someone. So eventually, after a while, I overcome that fear lah.
Yeah.
Then you start talking to your seniors.
Yeah.
But as you know, if you don't ask, you never know, right? You won't get it. Nothing will just fall down on your lap like this.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I mean, if making your own observations, watching this, that you will learn something from that lah.
Yep.
But of course, nothing beats just asking directly from a musician.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
How this works, how that works.
Yep. Always. And just because we left school doesn't mean that we cannot still ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like your first introduction into playing contemporary music.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
And what happened after that? Like, did you get a proper mentor or did you go for classes?
So I finished my classical when I was 16. Classical training. I mean, I reached grade 8. I didn't go further than that.
Enough.
Yep. By the time I was 16, so 17, I had to focus on SPM.
Yes.
Right. So that 1 year was nothing of music except playing in church. And then that was the same year where some of my seniors who already went to KL.
Where were we from?
Muar, Johor.
I see. I just came back from there.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're from.
No. For a wedding.
Oh, okay.
I see.
So
okay.
Occasionally, some of the seniors come back and we talk about KL and everything.
Yeah.
And then one of my good friends, he said, "Hey, have you heard of this college called ICOM? Right? It's a college that teaches music, teaches jazz, right? And that's quite unusual because you never heard. Back in my hometown, it's just school after, it's just school and then church and then music lessons, tuition, right? Nothing, that whole bubble doesn't expand.
Yeah.
So suddenly to hear about a college that teaches jazz music, it's like, that is something lah.
Yes.
That really piqued my attention.
Yeah, like,
So,
there's such a thing.
yeah, so this was midway through my SPM year. Right.
So just in time for you to,
Yeah.
do I want to go?
Right, when I finished high school. So of course I said, yep, that's where I want to go. And then so I spoke to my dad, told him I want to study music, and he was very supportive.
Yeah.
Right, he didn't, not for 1 second did he ask me to consider something else.
Really?
No, he just said, yeah, sure, good.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. It's very unusual for an Asian parent, right?
Exactly, Chinese parents are
Right.
more, yeah.
Study law or doctor or
Engineering,
right?
or counting.
Counting.
Yeah.
But I guess my dad saw something in me when I was very young, even though at that time I was still very green, wet behind the ears,
Right.
still shy. At least I think he saw that I had something that I can do with music.
Right, and also the passion for it. Because if you ask him, like, can I do music? Yeah.
So I was quite fortunate to have my dad just saying yes from day one, from the get-go.
Yeah, and did he enjoy music?
Yes, my dad actually was in a high school band when he was still young.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean that's another story lah.
Yeah.
But I guess that's where his dream of being a musician started. But then his life went a different way lah. So he worked in a bank and did something else. And
Maybe he put his hopes and dreams on you.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, my son can represent my dreams.
Yes. Oh, you want to play music? Yes.
But he did have one condition for me lah.
Which is?
Don't fail. Meaning, don't fail as in don't fail your exams.
Okay.
Not
okay.
fail as in don't fail the big thing. I mean,
Okay, okay.
it just says like, okay, you can go to music college, but no repeats. Which is good advice, right? So that I
Yeah.
take it seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we even when I was in college also, you have the mindset of like, oh, it's just music.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just music. You know, if I don't do well in this theory class, I can repeat this. You know.
Yeah, about that lah. Since you're talking about this,
Yeah.
it's I think for any music student, right, they should always remember one thing, right? Music is as tough as any other thing.
Yes.
Whether you study law, engineering, medicine, accounting, right?
Yeah.
We keep mentioning those four.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whatever. I mean, it's an education, right?
Yes.
It takes effort. There are exams. You have to earn your credits.
Yes.
Right. So it's not a shortcut lah. It's not a shortcut into the working world.
Yes.
Right.
And it's not like the normal working world that we
Yes. Right. It's besides working on your craft, your skills, everything, you also need to know how to network,
know. Yes.
talk to people, how to
course.
promote yourself. So there's business related things involved,
Exactly.
and also not to mention discipline lah, right? Of all people, artists, musicians, we have to always persevere.
Yeah.
It's tough to find work,
Exactly.
even if you are good, right? It takes a while before you can find solid footing in
Exactly.
the working world.
Yeah.
So yeah, how can it be an easy way? It's like you take music in college, right? This is the
Right.
easiest way to go out and work. No,
No.
heck no.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I know. So, when you entered ICOM, that was how did it feel like to be in a completely different. I mean, from your move from Wa to KL,
Yeah.
big
That
city.
is one big move.
Yeah.
Right. So took me a couple of months to adjust, from a small town to a big town.
Yeah.
And then finally to college, where you finally meet your peers, people your age and people older than you, who have, I mean, most of them grew up in the city, so their mindsets and their attitudes and their characters are very different.
Yeah.
So yes, a bit of a culture shock, right? You
Yeah.
see people behaving very differently.
Yeah.
Like in high school, depends lah. Which crowd you hang out in high school. If you hang out with the really nice,
Yeah.
disciplined kids, you never get in trouble.
Yeah.
And then you go to
You're
college.
very well protected.
Correct. You go to college and then you see a girl smoking. That's like, there's such a thing, right?
Yes.
I mean, something simple like that, you have to adjust your mind to. But everything's fine
Yeah.
after that once you get used to the culture in college.
Right.
But yeah, that's one adjustment I have to make. But like I said earlier, hearing about ICOM, it's
Yeah.
like, wow. Right. So that's the other thing that hit me after a while. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm actually studying what I want.
Yeah.
There's actually a syllabus to teach jazz.
Yeah.
So my first year, I was just devouring information and working whatever that that the classes threw at me. I just dove right into it because I guess I was fortunate to do what I want.
Yeah.
Study what I want.
Right.
So I didn't waste time lah.
And you didn't fail.
I didn't fail.
Yeah. Do you remember if there were any particular lecturers or teachers who made an impact positively?
Yeah. We have to bring out one name here. We both know,
Yeah.
Mr. Frank Ong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's the first. I think he's the first lecturer that approached me. Because again, when I started in college, I was going through an awkward phase, right? So I find it hard to talk to people, and
Yeah.
even though my studies were going well,
Yeah.
but I could not
Commun-
communicate or adapt or relate to my peers. So I became like an awkward first year student. But slowly, Frank was one of the first few people that approached me and said, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah.
And he actually started some kind of a mentor-mentee relationship lah. I mean, he would never use those terms in his,
It's
but,
Frank.
yeah, it's Frank.
Yeah.
But in my early years lah, he was the one who, helped me to develop a the proper mindset on how to be a musician. You know, and
What
if,
was that? If you don't mind
um,
sharing.
well, one thing that he said is this: he said, if you want to do music, there's only one way to do it: go all out, give your best,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that statement itself also can mean different things to different people. For people who love to work hard, it means, you know,
Go for
go
it.
out and then burn yourself out. Which no, for me it's not. For me it's, you know, embrace it, love it, play it passionately. That doesn't mean you kill yourself, give your best, but it's like, for me is to do it properly,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And every time when you perform, always be prepared and everything, you know,
Yeah.
and always find ways to develop your, how you say, your different ways to play songs, different colors, different techniques, more skills, basically the technical stuff. Always develop.
More tools for yourself.
Yes.
Equip yourself better as a musician.
Yeah, explore, listen more.
Yeah.
That's what I interpret from what he told me, you know,
Right.
go out.
Yeah.
Right. Because for some people it's just, if you 120% and then if you burn out, it's okay, but no, it's okay, like that's for people with different personalities, they'll
Right.
go that way. But for me, that's what it means.
Right. Yeah.
So Frank was the name I have to mention. So
Yeah.
it's really sad to hear about what happened.
Yeah.
A few other people, Freddie, I have to mention.
Was he there when
Farid
you were
Yahya.
there?
Yes, he was there. He's been there for.
I see.
Yeah. So Mr. Farid Yahya, or Freddie like call him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
many people will have a lot of things to say about him, but I choose to just say that he, you know, if I filter out everything,
Yes.
right, he really pushed me. You know, he doesn't give me any, how you say it, he doesn't make it easy for me, right? I think which is good, because if it gets to your head,
Yes.
when you're in college, that's a very bad thing. You know, you think you already got it.
Yeah, you think you're the shit.
Yeah, so Freddie is one of those people who make sure that I don't get there to that stage,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate it,
So
right, in
true.
that sense.
Yeah.
Couple other names, I don't know, Mr. Z.
Huh?
But Mr. Z, I mean, he was more on the tech side. and
Yes, ear training for me,
Yeah, ear
at
training.
least. Yeah.
everything.
And
But,
so,
well, a lot of names. But of course, I have my peers, right, who helped me settle into city life.
yeah.
We got off on the wrong foot because they think, you know, this awkward kid is so quiet, so arrogant.
Yeah.
I'm just shy. I don't talk to you because I'm shy.
Right.
But thankfully, after 1 or 2 semesters, it's like, oh, okay.
This guy actually okay,
It's
huh?
okay. Just talk to him.
Right.
Because
That's why, kids, don't judge a book by its cover. You don't know, you meet a genius like Wee Lern, okay?
Wow, genius.
Yes, because you saved me so much in college.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Contempt, harmony.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
one topic.
yeah. Anyways, so yeah. But do you remember? I mean, we have PI in college, right?
Yes.
Did you absorb more of what you wanted to do there?
What can I say? This is a bit controversial.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I only had 1 level of PI,
Oh.
but there's a reason for that.
Okay.
Because what happened during that year when I'm supposed to take PI, there was this revalidation process for ICOM.
I see.
With before this was Westminster, the University of Westminster.
Yeah.
They kind of adjusted our syllabus, and the long story short is they took away PI.
Huh?
Yes, that's so bad.
Oh no.
But I don't want to dive into this story
Yeah.
because I think
That's their problem.
that's
lah.
a problem.
Yeah.
But there's a happy ending to that, because in 2006 they brought it back because Berkeley insisted.
Yeah, of
Right.
course.
So after that it's fine.
Yeah.
But during that, I think it was a period of 3 years where ICOM was forced to take off PI from the syllabus, which was bad, and I was the batch that lost out on it.
Oh no! So only 1 semester.
Yeah.
So how did you get? other resources to?
Well,
yeah.
First of all, I spoke to Frank,
Yes.
right? And even though he's a bass player, somehow he's able to give me advice and give me, point me in the right direction. Say, go check out so and so. Go check out so and so.
Yeah.
Bill Evans. Go check out Keith Jarrett. Go check out whoever lah, Dave Grusin, Bob James, the class, all the legendary jazz pianists, and say when you listen to them, listen to this, listen to this. So he was still able to give me something to work on, even though there was no teacher.
Right.
But it also means that I have to what? Go and ask.
Yes.
Right? Go to library, go look some research on books that helps on this and that. And there are a lot of resources there. And also grateful for this one person, Mr. Bruce Hearn. He's a flugelhorn and trumpet player from Canada.
Oh, nice. Is he still here?
I don't know. He left a couple of years ago, but I think he came back to visit recently. So he was a lecturer in ICOM for about 2 semesters, 1 year.
Wow. Okay.
So during that time, he actually showed me some stuff on the piano because he also could play a bit of piano.
I see.
So this was in my 3rd year, and that helped.
Right.
Because now I get to ask somebody, from Canada, right? Pretty much in the America lah.
Just over the pond.
Right, and then I get to see real jazz playing, even though it's not exactly a fantastic thing, but just good enough to
hear it,
to hear me, to let me see, and to move on to the next, help me move to the next level.
Right.
So yes, that's another name I want to bring up. Mr. Bruce Hearn.
Yeah.
I mean, quite a lot of musicians in KL knows him. So when he was still around.
My time.
Yeah. Is it past? It's before.
Before my time.
Yes, before you. Yeah.
And so, which one comes first? Like after you. Okay, I mean, sorry. Let me backtrack a little bit.
Sure.
Were you practicing a lot during college time, or we touched a little bit about that. I know people are a bit sensitive to timing, how many how many hours you put onto it, right? But when you know, right? Like if this amount of practice works for you, So
if
what
I
was
want
yours?
to simplify, if you are in college, practice as much as you can.
Yeah.
Right? That's the easiest advice. I'm not going to say 1 hour or 6 hours or 3 hours. You decide, right? Because of course college schedules are tight, but you have. I think it's up to the student to always decide that set aside time. And no compromise on that.
Yes.
Because I always tell my students, it's like I know your schedule's busy, but you have to practice every day.
Yes.
Don't take breaks. Like some people practice 1 hour one day, skip one day, and then practice 15 minutes the next day. So I keep emphasizing on consistency.
Yeah.
Right? Be consistent. Every day touch the piano, even if you have no time, half an hour practicing your scales arpeggios.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Just have to do it.
Yeah.
Because practice helps you build up your skills in a progressive way. Right, it has to grow, right? And if you stop on different days, then your progress will be like this.
Yep.
Some days you stop, then some days you put 2 hours, you stop.
Yes.
You're not really gonna develop anything properly that way.
Right.
Right.
And it's accumulative as well.
Yes.
Don't think like just because you spend half an hour today, it won't amount to much next time. The consistency is so important. Yeah. And
so if you can practice 3 and 6 hours a day, go ahead. Right. But get some sleep lah.
Yeah.
I mean, some people only have 6 hours a day, during your sleeping time. But
yeah.
so I guess this helps you to develop proper time management, right? Right. You have to set aside time in your schedule.
Yes.
Right. There's studies, there's makan, there's eating.
Yes.
There's time for your friends, and there's time for practice. You have to somehow slot it in.
Yes.
The more disciplined you are, well, the better it pays off lah.
Yes.
So the second thing I want to say is also when you practice is how you practice, not necessarily the amount. Doesn't mean that if you play 1,000 notes in this 5 minutes means wow. No, it's not the amount. It's how.
Yeah.
How how you pull off certain arpeggios, certain scales, develop certain fingerings, how you play chords, and when you practice recognition time.
Yeah.
Right, how to form chords quickly.
Yeah.
Right, these are specific things to practice,
Yeah.
areas to practice. It's not just randomly just opening up a book and practicing. That one is just blindly, just going through a book, and you're not going to get anything.
Right. No goal, no target. Yeah.
So practice has to be specific.
Right.
You say I'm going to do all 12 major scales today in half an hour. Then do it at a certain tempo. Set the tempo. Aim for it.
Right. and then
Right.
pull or go through with
Go through it. Don't get distracted. Switch off your phone. You know, it's frustrating. I know. Sometimes you don't get. You like it makes you frustrated. But
Right.
you have to keep going.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it gets better, lah. Once, let's say the first half an hour frustration, the next day you try again, it will get better, better, right? If you just stick to it.
Exactly.
So you see, it's specific and it's focused, it's intentional,
Yes.
right? And that's how a student should practice.
Right.
Right. And normally what I find is this, let's say you get into a really good flow of practicing, suddenly time just disappears, and then by the time you knew it, it's like 2 hours passed already. I thought it was only half an hour. That's how it works.
Yeah. When you're so into it, when you're so focused on something,
right?
Yeah, no distractions. Yeah.
Then instead of becoming a chore, it becomes you
Enjoyable?
enjoy it. I mean, it won't be enjoyable straight away. But
Right.
once you do it often enough,
Yeah.
your practice becomes something that is routine.
Yes.
This is good routine. Okay, that's not what you said earlier when you're practicing 3 songs for the okay, that one is but
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But okay, we are
That is the bridge to this.
yeah. This is specifically talking about practicing itself, right?
Yes.
This one has to be routine,
Yes.
right? Consistent and set small goals lah.
Yeah.
If you think you don't know how to practice, at least set achievable goals within
Right.
few minutes, right?
Yeah.
That's why I always use the half an hour rule. Is there's so much you can practice with just that time,
Yeah.
and it's just half an hour. You can add more and more.
Right.
And don't forget to take breaks in between. Doesn't mean that your 3-hour practice must be 3 hours in a row.
Yeah.
Because quite often you don't have that much
3 hours.
in a row. You always have to do something else, right?
Yeah.
So, if I have to summarize on that, is consistency, intentionality lah. That means you have to practice properly.
Yeah. And also take breaks lah. If
Everybody knows how to take breaks.
Yeah.
Right?
Take too much break.
Yeah, data rate session for 1 hour.
Oh my god.
No lah, cannot lah.
Yeah. So, how important is it to have your own practice, and also, if you want to be a performer, to play with other people? Like, when do you make that jump? Yeah.
Well, there's generally always 2 types of performers lah when it comes to music, right? The soloist and the ensemble player. It depends, right? If you're going to be a singer-songwriter style, just you and your instrument, and that is only what you're gonna do, then focus on that.
Right.
But eventually, I think most people in college will eventually have to play with others in an ensemble and everything. And normally, most institutions will have syllabus that leads towards that, right?
Yeah.
Well, playing with others always teaches you a lot more things, like how you can, or how good is your timekeeping. Right. First thing you notice is, if it's the first time you're playing in a band, it's like, why isn't everyone following my time?
Yeah.
Right. And then you realize maybe your time isn't that good.
Yeah.
The drummer there's, or the guitarist actually a much better sense of timekeeping.
Yeah.
Right. That will be a eye opener lah for most first timers. It's like, wow, I suck. I need to work on this. Right, but hopefully they're not like egoistic about it. It's like, no, you should follow me, right? Right. If the such arguments occur, switch on the metronome. Cannot argue. Cannot argue.
Then you have to. Then you know what really is your strength and what your weaknesses are. Yeah.
So the other thing is, in playing a band, is also how to compensate and give and take.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because most piano players, when they play, I mean, if you come from a solo background for a long time, your left hand does the bass, your middle does the chords,
and
your
you
upper
have
lines, and you cover the piano, and you're fantastic. You know, as a soloist, you sound great. And then you try to play in a band, and all the band members are like, look at you, like, I don't have to play lah. Everything you play already.
Yeah.
The rhythm you got team, the bass you got team. Okay lah, no need one band.
Yeah lah, and you play the melody also, no need.
No need. The singer also need to sing. So so that's why from a soloist transitioning to playing ensemble, that's the other thing. Like is to realize that you have a role.
Yes.
And it's not to play everything.
Yes.
Right, it's to cover certain things.
Right. And will that knowledge, will that understanding of role come with experience?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
A bit, because some things you only learn by going through it, right?
Yeah.
A bit, coming back to the church years, lah. If you're observant enough as a church musician, you will really realize sometimes you are overpowering other people when you play. And if you're mature and alert enough to realize, oh, maybe I don't have to play the left hand too low because the bass is playing.
Yeah.
But some people can learn it that way.
Yeah.
Right? So yes, experience does help us. It depends on the person, right? Let's say the person is just focused on himself.
Yeah.
So from start to finish, you always like, I don't care what other people are doing, I'm playing my part right.
Yeah.
So
It's a bit.
yeah, so experience one thing, but maturity is another lah. And for those musicians who don't see it, hopefully there will be somebody who can point it out.
Yeah.
Maybe a senior or somebody you respect saying, hey, chill.
Yeah. Chill.
Right? You're good, but don't do that. Things like that. Some words like this have to be spoken to people who are not musicians who are not aware.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
As in an ensemble, that you have your role and function, so stick to it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first gig?
My first gig,
Yeah.
actually no. Wait, I vaguely recall. I think my second year.
In school.
Yeah, in school, when sometimes some weekends some students ask us to go out and play a certain gig lah. It's a free gig lah, I think I remembered. But it's okay lah. It's just to gain experience. It was fun.
Yeah.
A bit messy, right? It was a jazz gig lah, and you just play and songs that you already know, like Autumn Leaves, Rubosa, Beautiful Love, the jazz standards.
Yeah. Until today, I don't know my jazz standards.
It's okay. It's okay. You don't need to know jazz standards to be a great musician.
Oh no! Oh.
But
it's
better
good
to
know
know
lah.
lah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first gig, not really like great, but at least like, hey, I can come out and play. Gives lets you feel a bit more settled,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Like the stamp there. I am musician.
Yeah, I still suck, but at least I went out to play. I tried.
Yeah.
My first paid gig was actually, I think my last year in college.
Nice.
It's a bit strange because your last year in college you're supposed to focus on your portfolio.
Oh,
and
yeah,
internship.
true.
Somehow I found time to take a gig during that
Good.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
How did that feel? Like that moment where I am actually getting paid for my craft.
Yeah, I don't remember much of that.
Yeah.
I just remember having fun. It was a gig at Bangkok Jazz. If you remember Bangkok Jazz,
I wasn't here when.
but you heard about it.
Yes.
Yeah,
I keep hearing about it.
Yeah, that was the time where most of our seniors always go there to jam and everything. So it was quite a high profile place. But it was great fun because I was playing with seniors. So it's like they are already really good. So all I have to do on the piano is just do my part.
Yeah.
I don't have to really stand out.
Right.
Yeah.
You were not just supporting, but you were playing your role lah.
Yep.
And with people that you know and you trust.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. I feel like that's super important, and also that's how I felt when I see the music community and people that we know.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, for example, Malaysian jazz piano festival.
Oh.
It's amazing because you're playing for your peers, but you're also playing with your peers. Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling lah.
It's so nice.
It's community lah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some people may still be in college, others have graduated a long time ago, but when we come out, everyone is together.
And you also know at least there's a support system in place.
Yes.
There are people you can go to.
Yes.
But what I also like to see was college students intermingling. People from UCSI, UPM, ICOM, just backstage, just having a good time.
Yeah.
And they're already gigging together actually, right?
Right.
Which that's wonderful.
Right.
We didn't really have that culture back then when we were studying, but it's nice to see that growing now.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll keep growing that way.
Yeah.
So it's not just the professionals, but the college fraternity as well, which is wonderful.
Yeah, and it also helps because like people like you, like Ejing, like Gigi, you guys are teaching in different colleges as well. So it kind of like, bring everyone together. Yeah, from
Yeah,
different schools.
kind of shows that hey, even the pros are, you know, even when they work, it's always this, they're still seeing each other.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It's very muhibah lah. You know?
Satu Malaysia lah.
It's like really, it's
Yeah.
almost no barriers lah. It's like you can just work with anyone,
True.
right? And it doesn't matter whether they are a senior musician or a junior or a college graduate.
Yeah.
Because the past few years lah, I mean, I've been getting calls to play for, fresh grads. I never turn it down.
Yeah.
It's sure, you call me, I'll play, no problem.
Yeah.
Instead of like, no lah, you just graduate, go and get your, go and earn your place
Pay
first.
your due first.
No such thing.
Right.
I mean, in fact, if you do that, what image are you trying to portray? What example are you setting? It's like, wow, that means when I reach this level, I have to behave like that to the graduate.
Yeah.
Then it become a very toxic cycle. It's not supposed to be that way.
Understand.
And besides, if you do your job like a pro, that then it forces the fresh grads to up their game.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
It's like, I'm just going to play as I normally play. Right?
Yeah.
So you have to do your part.
Right.
So it's better to do that rather than to put them down, or
Yeah.
I also have to encourage them lah.
Of
Sometimes their
course.
first time they're scared.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's okay, just sing. I got your back, man.
I got your back. I'm here.
Yeah. So you have to a mixture of pushing and and
Yeah.
also to encourage,
Yeah.
right? Because they are eventually going to be the future of the scene.
Yes.
And who knows, they may be getting the big gigs next time, and they call you.
Right.
So if you're being a big of a jerk to
Yes.
them in your early years, cycle comes back and bite you lah.
Of course. Yeah. And then when we cannot stay relevant anymore, then yeah. So how was that transition from being a gigging musician into an educator? Because I think that's so important. Yeah.
I haven't exactly left the gigging scene.
I mean, yes, but now we were talking about it just now, right?
Yeah.
Like you get to pick and choose the kind of gigs that you want. Yeah, you have that flexibility now. Yeah.
So what is you're asking the transition?
Like how did you first start teaching? Yeah.
Actually, I started teaching very early. It's like just 6 months after I graduated in 2005. Frank called me.
Oh damn.
Frank Ong called me to
Yeah.
ICOM and like, hey, do you want to teach piano?
Yeah.
I'm like, sure.
Yeah. And that's it.
And that's it. I never stopped teaching since 2006. It's like what, 14 years. It's funny. Time really flies when you are just focused doing that thing. You don't pay attention to. You just focus on getting a job done properly,
Yes.
and then finish your tasks, and then next day the same thing, come back cycle. Eventually, a year passed by. 5 years goes by, 10,
Yeah.
and it's like what? It's already 10 years.
Yeah, I was just talking to James today, Mr. James Boyle.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's so like time flies when we're living by semesters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. You know what's the illusion? It's because every batch, right?
Yeah.
Stays the same age.
I know.
Right? Every new semester there's a batch of 18-year-olds.
Yes.
Right? And then the seniors will always be 19, 20, 20. So you keep seeing people in the same age group
Yep.
every semester.
Yep.
So you have the same, you kind of
The-
like fool yourself into thinking that time has just frozen.
Right.
And then you're growing old without knowing it.
Yes.
Like,
And they're getting younger and younger. Well, they're not
no,
getting younger and
they're
younger.
just staying the same.
Yeah.
Right, when that
18,
batch
19,
moves
20.
past, you are
Yeah.
just observing a new batch. So
Right.
eventually all the students in the past like, sir, remember me? You taught me 10 years ago. I'm like, God, oh yeah, I taught you. It's strange. It's weird. It's like then it's those students that remind you that you are
Time
old.
has passed.
You are old.
We're not old.
Okay.
Just-
A lot of time has passed.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I like when was the time? Yeah, lor. When I entered ICOM was 2012, and you still look the same.
Thank you.
Wait, that's 8 years ago.
Yes, that's
Oh my God.
8 years ago. Okay, you still look the same also.
Damn. It just feels like 4 or 5 years ago, It was 8 years ago.
It always feels like it's 4 or 5 years ago.
Right. Oh my god. So
And you're teaching now, so
I know.
so my students are teaching. How about that?
Oh my god.
It's okay. I still feel young. See again.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
We're good.
We'll grow old again. We'll see the 18-year-olds together.
Forever.
Yeah.
Right.
So what was the most well, let's put it that way. What is the most challenging thing you face as an educator, and also what is the funnest thing?
The most challenging thing?
Yeah.
Nothing to say, but how should I say it?
Maybe a few.
Well, as a teacher, we always, as an idealist, you always want the best students, right?
Of course.
Yeah, it's like hopefully the batch comes in and most of them are good.
Yeah.
It's not always that way, as we know. There's always the ones that are good, the normal ones. Okay, I don't say normal, how you say it?
Yeah. You can say it, the normal ones. Yeah, like we were normal ones too.
Yeah, and then there are students that are probably in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right. Yeah.
So I think every college will have that problem. But
Yeah.
I think the challenge for me is to teach in a way that still benefits all three categories. Yeah. Right? Because the ones that are good, you don't really have to worry about them. Right?
Yeah.
You just have to give them just the necessary information, they know what to do.
Yeah.
And the 80% of them who I teach normally, that's where the bulk of the teaching comes in. And then the weaker students are the one that you're trying to get them to a certain passing level, but you have to focus more attention on them.
Yeah.
But then you have to, in the same class, you cannot just have an imbalance that way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of research done into this, how to do differentiated learning. But I think not everybody has really gotten the hang of it.
Yeah.
Right. But it's something to pursue as an educator, how to, in the same class, somehow benefit
All
the strong,
three categories.
medium, and weak categories.
Right.
So that's one challenge.
Yeah.
And of course, I think every teacher will have this problem dealing with students that just refuse to practice.
Yeah. Well, what do you do? What do you say to because I feel like we're all optimists first, like we want them to succeed, we want them to learn,
Yes.
right? But how to help people who don't believe in themselves first?
It's very hard to answer because most of the time, students who come to college, they already should know that they're in this, right?
Yeah.
And they have to be serious about it. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about those kind of students who really want to do it and they just somehow can't. Yeah, that one is tough because they want to do it, but they somehow don't have skill level or the discipline.
Right.
So it makes you wonder, like, do you really want to do this?
Right.
Because your attitude is not really showing. That's another thing, attitude. Right. If your attitude is right, somehow you can overcome this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You take steps to work on your
Improve.
weaknesses. You will put actions in place.
Yeah.
Or at least you'll be open to criticism or open to teacher's advice. If teacher says do this, you do it because you know you're really weak and you need to pass.
Yeah.
But even if that doesn't help, then I don't know.
Right.
What are you doing here then?
Right. And what are the? I mean, you've been teaching for 14 years, right? Yeah. How has the students been from then until now? What is the major difference that you've seen so far?
Wow, this is another topic.
I mean,
Okay.
I
think you've also known this, that nowadays, there's so much options,
Yeah.
so many, if you've gone through the whole icon thing, right, from 2012, or even before, let's say from 2005 to 2015, what has changed with the world at the time? You get smartphones, iPads, you get Netflix.
Yes.
Back in 2005, we barely got YouTube.
Yeah.
With your limited broadband,
Yes.
right? So accessibility today is like amazing.
Yes.
And you have access to so much different kinds of music.
Yes.
So that I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
But I guess what noticed in the difference in the students is the students back then, because they have so limited resources, they really have to take an effort to find this stuff, find the things they want to listen to and work on it.
Right.
And they treasure it because it's so hard to find. When you can find, you actually have to buy CDs. 60 ringgit for jazz CDs to listen. Right now, people put it on YouTube nowadays. So the appreciation for this material, I think, has dropped because it's so easy to get them. Right, so when you recommend artists to people, they just listen for a while and move on to the next one, because there's so many. 5 seconds here, 5 seconds. You're not going to learn anything, right? And back then because it's so limited, we do focus listening, one album at a time, or one track at a time.
Yep.
So I think what happened is, because of that, students today, they are, how should I put it? They don't know what to focus on. Right?
Too much?
Yeah. And but it's understandable. If I was a student right now, I would go through the same problem. It's like, who to listen to? And then here you have a 14-year lecturer saying, listen to this person. It's like, but what about the rest? Why only listen to these 3? But I have a reason for saying that, because you will learn something from
this.
Focus listening, 1, 2, or 3 people first, and then slowly move on to the rest. You cannot just listen to 10 people at once.
Yeah. And then how are you going to?
Yeah. What you want to gain out of it? You just gain a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You gain information overload.
Yes.
But you won't learn.
Yes.
Having information is not learning.
Yeah.
It's how you get it and dissect and then apply. Yeah, that is very difficult. That will take time.
Yes.
There's no such thing as cramming 50
Everything.
songs in your head and expecting to learn something.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll learn the songs,
Right,
but
right.
you wouldn't learn the elements in the song or music, right? I mean, that one you have to take your time.
Yeah.
You have to have patience, lah.
Yes.
Don't worry. All those many options will always be there. Just focus on a few at a time and be good at it.
Yep.
And then you slowly expand.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be lost. You'll be lost very quickly.
Yeah. And you don't know where to start. Don't know where to.
You have to go from there.
Yeah. And
So,
then sorry.
Yeah. So how you say? Nothing for. Nothing more on this.
Yeah. But what are the good parts of teaching then?
To see students having the light bulb moment when you teach a certain thing, and then you see their eyes go, that will never get old.
Yeah.
From day one till now, every time I see that always gives me joy.
Yeah.
It just reminds me, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm teaching.
Yeah.
To transfer information to somebody and help them to understand what it is, and then they can apply.
Yeah.
It's just that.
Priceless, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like having good students make you happy. No, it's seeing somebody getting it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I'm not a failure.
Well, not that far lah.
Yeah.
Just the look in their eyes, the look in their face when they get it, it's like that is always a great feeling.
Yeah. And we also know, like, just like some teachers are, we will always remember some teachers, like how they impacted us.
Yes.
Yeah, the responsibility that we hold also is quite huge lah. I feel, yeah.
I think for us as teachers, we have to understand that the students have to do their part, right? You do your best, right? You be responsible for your actions. You plan your lessons properly, right? Teach properly, be clear, and then you let the students do the rest, because you cannot guarantee that so and so is going to be successful. That's actually not our responsibility. Just remember that as long as you teach correctly, teach well, right, in that area, you've done your part.
Yeah.
And if the student sees that and respects that and responds, wonderful.
Yeah.
If not, it's beyond your control.
Right.
If the student chooses to leave or not to listen to you, let them go.
Yeah.
Right.
We've done our part, yeah? So how is it like balancing gigging and also teaching, and what is, I mean, I've asked you this just now, but what is your definition of being a successful musician? For you, of course.
For me.
Yeah.
Well, being able to express what I want in music without fear of judgment, right? I mean, that's the ideal world, right? Every musician wants to do their thing, but I think that's if you're able to play music that represents you, right? And people appreciate you for that. I think that's success, lah.
Yeah.
You know, it's not making a lot of money. It's not necessarily having a stable job, but
Right.
it's doing the things you do every day, and it puts a smile on your face.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
puts a smile on your soul,
Yeah.
right? And you know, if you find a community of people who can do that with you, great.
Right. Right.
So, but for me, I'm happy with what I have because I think for me, I'm more of a music appreciator, right? I enjoy understanding and getting it more than actually having to perform it.
Ah.
Maybe that's why I eventually became a teacher for so long.
Right.
And
Right.
I'll probably be teaching for a long because
Yes, please.
I don't know. It's I think you see people over the few years. Like first you have Bill Evans.
Yeah.
Then you have Miles Davis.
Yeah.
Around that time lah.
Mm.
Then Herbie, Chick Corea.
Yeah.
Then you go on to the 80s, 90s fusion bands. Then eventually Hiromi.
Yeah.
And then more on to today you have Corey Henry.
Yeah.
Jacob Collier. You know the whole path.
Yes.
But for me, the first thing that most people say, why don't you be the next
So-and-so.
the next Chick Corea, the next Jacob Collier? No. I'm perfectly happy appreciating what these pioneers came up with. I study their works. I see, it gives me joy to get to a level of understanding of why they're doing certain things. Why are they playing like this?
Yeah.
That is what makes me happy.
Right.
To see how Bill Evans plays voicings and
Right.
how he shapes his,
And you get
playing.
it.
And if you get it, or you at least get a bit of it,
Yeah.
that is me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to set the new style or the new thing. I'm not going to be the
Right.
next whatever.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I'm going to look at what came before. I'm going to study them and maybe incorporate my playing, explore and develop.
Yeah.
To me, that is way more important than having to come up with something new. And so that's my definition of success lah.
Yeah.
To
Please
cons-
write a book on this. Please write a book on the linear path of then jazz and now jazz and how it has changed.
Just Google lah.
Cannot. So many things.
Yeah, maybe something to think
Yeah.
about next time.
Right, because it's to have that level of understanding and also compile it in one place, and then it's super cool lah, I think. Yeah, and it would be quite helpful to like a history book of like how to apply this.
A book of approaches, how different musicians approach. But that's another topic.
Another topic. So before I think wow, okay, an hour. Damn. Oh my god. See, it doesn't feel long.
Yeah.
So
you ask the right questions, it's fine.
yes. Okay, so a few things before we end this. I think one of the reasons why I want to do this also is to let people know, music. There's so many paths to music, and different musicians have different approach in this thing. So how do we take care of ourselves? How do we how to make this thing work for us? I think that's quite important. So what are how would you say, do you have like a daily routine that works for you, or practice routine now, or yeah?
Some things I can point out is take care of your health,
Huh.
drink a lot of water, eat healthy if you can, cut
Yeah.
back on the fast food. I think I'm saying this because I may look like barely a day over 30,
Yes.
but the body is hitting 40 soon. So if you don't take care of your health in your mid-20s,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And when once it's become a habit of not taking a healthy lifestyle,
Yeah.
you're gonna feel it once you
it
hit
so-
40 and above.
Ah.
You will not feel it in the age. That's why you can go McDonald's every day in 25. Your body will just take it like a boss. You know, no
Yeah.
problem. But yeah, in the long term, do take care of your health lah. Because recently I did have some issues.
Ah. You
Yeah,
cannot-
of course I will not share it, but
Okay.
it was a wake up call for me lah. That
Right.
you know you're no longer a young guy,
Yeah.
you know. And your body will always age and age. So take care. You know, not saying go to the gym and work out like crazy lah, but at least
right.
have good healthy routines.
Yeah.
For me, I try to go jogging like
Mm.
2-3 times
A week.
a week. Yeah, just jog for half an hour just to
Yeah, just
do the
move.
cardio. Yes.
Mm.
The other thing is, this is so tough to say because musicians mostly have irregular sleeping hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but if you can try to keep your sleep patterns consistent lah. And this is the advice from a doctor actually
Right.
who spoke to me.
Mm.
Right? If you're going to sleep at 2 a.m. every day, sleep at 2 a.m. and wake up at night. Keep it constant.
Right.
Right? Doesn't mean that sleeping at 2 a.m. is bad. It's just make sure it's
Consistent.
Don't like one night sleep at 4, 12,
Yeah.
then 1, 6.
Yeah.
That will screw up your body cycle and cause a lot of complications.
Later on.
I know it's tough because most musicians do not have the luxury of regular hours.
Right.
But if you can,
Right.
put in 7 solid hours consistently.
Right. The
3
quality.
a.m. to 10 a.m. Yeah, fine, do that.
Yeah.
4 a.m. to 11, yeah, do that. But okay lah, that's a bit.
Extreme.
Yeah, but if you can,
Yeah.
right, you because at a young age you won't know that it's actually killing you, but it will come back to haunt you later lah.
Right. Quality of sleep.
Mm.
Yeah. And
What
yeah.
else?
Yeah. What else?
What else? When you deal with people.
Let's talk about that.
Quickly lah. 14 years working, I work with interesting characters lah.
Yeah.
And some people you just have to put up with. And if some people you know you can stick with, you just stick with them, appreciate them, deal with them in fair way,
Yeah.
and never ever be a bad paymaster.
Yeah.
Never ever, not even one time.
Yeah.
Never ever. That will destroy your reputation really quick. Right? If you say this, make sure you honor that word,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And not all jobs will be ideal. Right? I've
Ah.
played with a band before, which I somehow lasted 5 years,
Wait.
but somehow I don't know how. Just somehow, but I just cannot deal with it. I mean, inside it's like, oh, it's killing me, but I put up with it somehow lah.
Yeah.
Not because of the music. It's because of the characters, the people, right? The attitudes.
Yeah.
So, but it's good training lah.
Yeah.
It trains you to be patient when working. But
Yeah.
I think every young musician you have to understand, right?
Yeah.
The pay will be good and the environment may be bad, right? So you have to make a decision. You
Yeah.
want to be patient, just if you need the money, you have to be patient. Or if you can find a better job, go ahead.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't have that option as well.
Yeah.
So be patient. Have a good attitude lah, working
Yeah.
attitude.
Right.
Because everybody's having it tough lah,
Yeah.
Everybody have their reason to behave a certain way, but
Yeah.
if you want to live and survive and make a living and still not go insane,
Yeah. Mental health is so important.
relationships lah, how you handle your relationships.
Right,
So
right.
these two things are your health, relationships. So take care of yourself.
And take care of other people also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One last one before we go.
Okay, what am I
Pick
supposed to? Huh?
Pick one and answer one.
This must be a special segment in the show. Here we go. Shall I read it right?
Yes.
What is your biggest fear and how do you combat it? Actually, it's a good question
Thank you.
because it hit right home actually.
Ah.
My biggest fear is... do I have fears or fear? Biggest fear. Okay lah, biggest fear. It actually ties back to that the thing I mentioned just now when we started this session, I was a very shy kid, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm always worried that people will not necessarily look down, but actually make a fool of me, like laugh at me because you fail and everything.
Right.
So maybe failure is a fear, but I think it's more to do with what people think of me if I fail. That is my fear lah.
Yeah.
Which was very evident as a kid, but I think, you know, thanks to a lot of people, thanks to my family, friends, thanks to close acquaintances, thanks to my wife,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
she's a wonderful lady, married for 6 months, always been, yeah.
Congratulations.
She gives me a safe space lah, you know, to rest in terms of mentally. I know somebody that will always support me,
Yeah.
regardless of what happens. So all I have to do is focus on giving my best,
Yeah.
right? And yeah. I'm almost gonna cry.
Oh no, it's okay. But I mean, I would, and I think I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of your students, you know, like, this is, I'm gonna cry now. Like it's, I think the way that you teach and how you handle all of us, right? Like for me especially, like it completely changed the way that I look at certain aspects in music, you know, like how. Anyways, long story short, you were really, really impactful, and you were one of those people like who I put next to Frank, next to
It's an honor, man.
yeah, a few teachers in Berkeley also, like really, really touched, you know, touched our lives, and also kind of changed the course of our career.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah, but
yeah, thank you.
you know,
Thank you.
yeah. So it's I think your fear will never come to fruition because of the impact and yeah that you've left behind lah, like left to the next generation, and it's such a good role model because that's you guys are who I want to be when I teach. Yeah, so
Aim further. Better than us.
We'll try.
But really thank you for your kind words.
Yeah. And I think this is very, very helpful, and yeah, we should host more things like this. Yeah, like to get to talk.
Yeah, you should host more things.
I'm trying. It's my form of giving back.
Wow. Great.
Yeah, so to get people like you guys to come in and talk. Yeah. All right. So,
All right.
any parting words? Any few more tips before you want to say, or you're done? You're okay.
Oh, yeah. If I have prepared this, would be better.
It's okay.
Give your best, right? Don't try too hard. Work hard, but don't try too hard. You know. But most importantly, do something that serves others lah. You know. Give back to your community. Well, I'm giving a PSA, but really, you know, community is important, and it's always better to give. You know, because you know eventually if you have a good heart and a good attitude, then people will see that and return the favor to you. And I believe that's how to live lah.
Yeah.
And that's success.
Yes. On that note, we thank Wee Lern. So thank you so much for listening, and see you guys next time.